Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy!
Welcome to another week of the Ages of Rock podcast. I am Dennis, back again because I was missing last week. This is their episode 151. We got Robert Golomboski, the Iceman. He's going to be our guest tonight. He is a radio host in Nashville. But before then, I would like to give a shout out to Brian Harris. I want to thank him for filling in last week for me. It was a short, I had an emergency. My mom was in the hospital, and I didn't really put it out there, but I appreciate all the guys and everybody who helped me out through that time. She's doing great now. But they got a hold of Brian at the very last minute. He not only came up with a topic, but filled in for me, and I sure appreciate that. And did a good job. My job might be in jeopardy at some point.
Well, it's nice whenever you call somebody and they go, "Hey, I've got an idea."
Yeah, I got a topic and I can fill it in. That's better than
how that worked out is I sent Brian a message and I'm like, "Hey, you got a couple of show ideas?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've got this one and I got this one." And I'm like, "Cool. Do you want to be on the show tonight? We're gonna do this idea." He was like, "Sure."
Then I get a text and says, "Hey, you need to come up with this list for tonight's show." And I'm like, "Oh."
Oh, and by the way, can I give you my quick list? I thought about it today. I was like thinking for my thing.
Oh yeah, for your
festival
rock bands. Yeah, five bands only.
5 bands only. Okay, here's what I'm going to have. The opener is going to be Saxon, the only band that I hadn't seen in this bill because I've wanted to see them for a long time. Then I'm going to have. Let me go forward.
Do you need some more fingers? Hold your fingers
no,
up.
I'm trying to think because I had to. Okay, we're gonna go Iron Maiden, and then we're gonna go. Actually, I take that back. It's except Iron Maiden, Rush, and Foo Fighters. That's my show. So there you go. With Saxon opening.
Not too bad. That's a pretty good show.
At all.
Rush is it's a weird combination. You got some real hard rock, and then you're gonna have Rush that's gonna kind of mess it around a little bit, and then Foo's gonna come out for a 3-hour, entertainment fiasco there at the end. So it'd be a long day of rock.
You could have Rush play for what 2 hours or 2.5 hours.
I would actually have Rush come out and do like they did before. I want them to play like Moving Pictures in its entirety. And maybe, I don't know, we'll pick 2 albums and they're going to play those in their entirety.
Have you seen them before?
Rush?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've never seen them.
I've seen them Signals, and it was my first concert, Signals. That was back in '82. And then I seen them on the Time Machine tour, when they did the whole Moving Pictures album, which was really cool. Yeah. I saw that in Nashville. Really good show.
I liked them. I just don't know that I'd like sitting there for 3 hours. I'd probably want to choke somebody.
It was good. It was a really good show.
But I like some of it.
Very visual, and just sounds good.
Cool.
Real quick too, people who have joined our Facebook page in the last week or so. Shout out to John Marshall, John Phillips, Jeffrey Anderson, Ryan Cox, Tommy Vicdal, and Shonda Gridsby. There you go.
And while we're on the topic of Facebook and Twitter, retweets and shares from last week's episode. Brian Harris, Bill Elam, David Cathy, Steve Wright, Kaylin Provo, Bill Algie.
Hey.
I know that guy, Brian Harris, Save Rock and Metal, Sonny Pooney, and I am totally going to butcher this last name.
Go for it.
Jay Skizembluski, SZCZEBLEWSKI. Thank you all for your retweets and your shares. We really, really appreciate it, helping us grow our audience.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
Way to go, Bill. Way to be a team player. My name wasn't on there. I guess I didn't do anything.
You don't know how to tweet, man.
Well, I wasn't even on the show last week.
Broken.
So there you go.
Your tweeter's broken. That's your problem.
I don't know how to tweet. I'm tweetless.
Teach you.
All right. Hey, there was some news this week, Bill. Why don't you
Yeah, so I posted on Facebook, on our Facebook page, and I think I put it on the Twitter too, that say I didn't watch the Golden Globes, haven't watched the Golden Globes for a long time. Actually, Golden Globes was a pretty good show. I watched
the last half of it. It wasn't bad.
I was really pretty impressed. There was not a lot of political garbage on there. It was, people were making statements, but more about women's rights and that kind of stuff. It wasn't this whole
there wasn't no bashing
thing. So it was kind of cool, and I appreciate that for everybody. But I stayed up and waited, was going to go to bed, and then looked to see what was left to give awards to. And it was Best Male Actor in a Drama and Best Picture. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to bed yet. So congratulations to Rami Malek for winning Best Actor for Bohemian Rhapsody, and congratulations to the cast, crew, writers, and all that jazz of Bohemian Rhapsody for winning Best Picture for Drama or whatever, which was great. I mean, it was. I can't wait. That comes out on video like soon, right? Like February 12th or something like that. Yeah, it's
beginning of February.
And, I am buying that the day it comes out on.
I want to see all the extros. I hope there's.
I do too. I hope there's a bunch of stuff in there.
Yeah, I do too.
I hope there's some outtakes in there too, because I bet it's pretty cool.
I really thought that
out on that stuff.
I really thought that the Sound of Music, the Star is Born was going to really take a bunch of shit. I really thought they were going to be pretty tough.
Well,
they got kind of
Gaga won. Lady Gaga won for
Shallow.
For song. Yeah, she won for song. So
I think though, when it comes to the Academy Awards, I don't think that Bohemian Rhapsody will do as well. I think Rami will get I think he'll get a good chance of winning the award, but the picture itself, I don't think will get Best Picture at the Academy.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the Green Book. I want to see that movie.
That looks like a really good movie. I like it.
It wasn't here for about a week, and it was gone. So I have to check that out later.
Laura and I went and saw the Green Book.
Was it good?
It was very good.
Yeah, that looks like a good movie. I want to check that out. And that's music related too, so we can have that on the show. We can talk about that. So that's cool. All right. I don't think I had anything else. I haven't bought any more concert tickets lately. Oh, we want to talk about this. So no, not that. I'm not talking about that. All right. Never mind. Change my mind.
Well, I have a couple of quick news items. First off, funk bassist Bootsy Collins has announced his retirement from live playing due to inner ear and hand issues. And it's rumored that Pearl Jam and Foo Fighters are going to headline Woodstock 50th anniversary.
I saw that.
And Keith Richards is still alive.
I saw the funniest meme the other day. It was a picture of Willie Nelson.
And Willie Nelson.
Yeah, still alive.
There's a picture of Willie, and it was something about, what are your kids going to leave Keith and I as they're tearing up the planet? It's like,
that's so funny.
So funny. Those dudes will be around forever.
All right. So, well, that's all you guys got. We'll continue on with the Iceman. All righty. We are now with the Iceman, Robert Golomboski. Is that right? Golomboski?
Yeah, you hacked it like my sixth grade teacher, brother. But that's all. It's Golomboski. But no, that's all right. I forgive you. Go. Yeah.
But from now on, it's the Iceman, and you are a radio personality in Nashville, number one.
Yeah.
And you've been around for a long time. So instead of me telling everybody about you, why don't you just go ahead and tell us about you?
I should have you do it to see if you even followed up to see who I was. Somebody just sent me a message saying you want to be on a radio show. I didn't even know. No, actually, I know we met at the event there in Nashville.
Yeah,
the Rocket Pod, man, which was really cool. But yeah, it's weird because I wanted to be a radio since I was 8. Now that I'm 27. I'm a lot older. I wanted to be in radio since I was 8. So the two things I loved was hockey and radio. That's where the Iceman came from. Went to school for it. I mean, we're talking early 80s. And about 7 years ago, I decided to just start an internet radio show. My mother was my only listener. Now I have to pay her to listen to me. But she and it just took off from there, man. I mean, I'm a 70s guy and a classic rock guy, but I fell into country. I found these artists that no one heard of that were just better than what you were hearing on the radio most of the time. And that's kind of how I made my niche in country. And it just took off. I mean, this guy that sounds like Wolfman Jack doing country, it just, and it took off. But I'm enjoying it. It's the internet that allows us to do what we love and not have to put up a, $200,000 antenna in our yard to get heard. So,
exactly.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool, man. And I enjoy meeting you guys in Nashville, and I love what you guys are doing. And, it's really cool to be on the show. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Like I said, I had talked to Tom Feely earlier. He was down there with, 4 by Fates. He's their manager, and he was down there for the, doing a bunch of stuff. And like I said, he came over and introduced me to you, and I was like going, and we started talking about the internet and the, internet radio. But you've done, you do some also on the satellite radio too, or have you?
Yeah, well, we're doing a lot on the internet, but my shows are being picked up now on terrestrial, on FM stations all over the country. I actually received a message last week from the only country FM station in Luxembourg. So after I Googled it to find out where the hell that really was, it was pretty cool in Europe. So yeah, we're making we're just making a lot of headway, guys. And what I just love doing radio. Like when I was a kid, listening to the top 40 stations in Rhode Island, they were playing great music regardless of the genre. They were having fun, and that's what I try to do every show. I don't want to be told what I could say or how I can say it, and that's why I just stay syndicated.
Right. So we were talking earlier. You talked about I said myself, I like everything. I used to like everything but country. I do like country. I like the older country. So how did you get into how did you get into that? I mean, how did that fall into your?
7 years ago, if you said, what do you like for music? Up until 7 years ago, I would say anything but country. My father used to listen to Johnny Cash, but I just was 70s classic rock, and I started doing shows. I was doing 6 different shows a week, whether it be some top 40 classic rock. I was doing some of the Sinatra stuff, just having fun. And Jonathan East, he's out of Alabama, sent me a song. He says, Iceman, I know you're a radio personality. I'm a country artist, and here's my song. And I listened to it. I said, this is some cool shit. I love it. I mean, it really was. So I realized when people heard that, they started sending me music, and I started researching it myself. And I'm like, there's a lot of great music out there that isn't political enough. It's not going to play the radio politics. And, because how we say the labels and everybody else creates what they want you to hear. These people need a voice because there's some damn good music out there. So I said, I could support a show doing just new country artists. One night I'm sitting at home, eating, having my moonshine, smoking my cigar, and what pops in my head? New country top 40, because I was a Casey fan, Casey Kasem. Like, why don't I just create a countdown? And it just took off. I mean, I was playing Old Dominion and Luke Combs and Maren Morris and Kane Brown and, Stapleton before radio. I mean, I was the first one ever to play those people. And to hear them take off the way they did, I found this niche. And I stuck to it. And that's how the country, because I never thought I'd be doing country. I mean, do I sound like Bubba from one of the stations in Oklahoma? No, hell no.
Right.
You don't sound like anybody from Alabama that I've ever heard.
No, people tell me, where you're from? I go, Alabama. So that's how the country thing was born. But I always had a love. I was on FM in Rhode Island doing classic rock. I always had a love for the 70s and the 80s and the classic rock. And, that's why I'm adding those shows. But I stick to country because I'm playing these artists and giving them a break. And the one thing that I don't do, and if you look at me on Facebook, I don't kiss up, man. If I don't like the CMA, I'm going to tell you that. If they don't do something, if there's somebody doing something I don't like in the business, I'm not going to kiss up to them, man. Being in Nashville, like, I'm not going to go to the CMA and kiss their pinky ring, because that's not what I'm going to do. And people like that because I say what they want to say, a lot of these new artists, but they're afraid to because they don't want to get blacklisted or have people lash out against them. But I just say it like it is, man. And that's what I do. And I help these artists get out there. And to me, it's a good thing.
So do they send you stuff then? Is that how you find new stuff? Are they just sending it to you, or you
both? It's both, man. I get about 800 songs a month sent to me.
Wow.
Yeah, and about 95% of them, it sounds like a cat being gutted. But I don't say that to them because it's somebody's dream.
Right.
Like,
Sure.
people that hear me listen to my music, I'll always come out with a wisecrack, and they like, why don't you do a video? I go, I can't, because then I'll be knocking somebody. I'm not Simon Cowell. So somebody's not that good and sends me something, it's their dream regardless. You know, if I wanted to play center for the LA Lakers, it'd be my dream, but a 280-pound, 5'6" Italian guy isn't going to do it, but it's my dream. So I don't want to knock someone's dream. So I get about 800 songs a month, but I go out and look for a lot of different. I look for a lot on my own, so I don't want to miss it.
Yeah. Do you try to find? It's kind of interesting because I have my wife has a cousin that was in a band that had moved. They had moved to Nashville, or went to Nashville, cut a couple of demos, and he sent me like 3 songs, and he said, I know you really like music. I know you're not a big country fan, but I am a country fan. I'm just not a new country fan. But
right.
I said, he said, would you just listen to it and give me some like real feedback, and don't pull any punches. Let me know what you think. And so I listened to them, and it wasn't bad stuff at all. Actually, the guy had a pretty good voice. The problem with it was he sounded like every other person you heard on the radio at that time. There was nothing that would separate him from anybody else. And so the feedback I gave him was, I said, he's got a great voice. I think the band, you guys all sound great in the band. I said, but he sounds just like anybody else you're going to hear on the radio. And I think that, I know country radio does that. That's how they work. I mean, you can hear, and I drive my kids crazy, my son crazy, because he likes country music. And every time something comes on, I'll say, is that Luke Paisley? And he's like, seriously, Dad? And I'll say something, and I'll say, is that Brantley, Brantley Rice? And he's like, Dad, really? And I just, but that's the thing, once those guys get to be, sometimes it gets to be very, the same. So do you find yourself, I mean, you made the comment about the cats thing. So, but do you find it hard to find people that are different enough that it's like, this is something that if they ever catches, it's going to be like awesome?
No, it's easy because, like I said, all the music I get, and I listen to everything. Sometimes all I have to do is listen for 3 seconds and it's over. But no, I think there is a lot out there. But there's a lot of artists that come and say, I'm going to be the next Chris Stapleton. No, just be the next you. They already have a Chris Stapleton, So I think there's a lot out there. People are just going to be creative. Any artist listening, they just got to be themselves. And, because these labels are going to, they think the biggest thing is getting a label deal. Listen, the way the industry is now, you don't even need a label to get out there.
Problem is whenever you get a label deal, then you're going to have guys in suits writing your songs for you.
Right.
The good songs are going to come from the people who are at home at their kitchen table, just broke up with their girlfriend, writing a fucking song. Those are the ones that are going to be, those are the good songs.
Exactly, man.
Suit,
Be yourself, because that's the biggest thing. Even with me, man, I refuse to go work at a corporate state, because they're going to say, well, because I was with a company that was saying, okay, we want you to sound like this. And no, I'm not going to do that, because then you just made me a lemming. That's what people like. I always tell the artists, be yourself. Don't sound like everybody else. Come out with something different. And if the label isn't happy with it, guess what? There's social media, and there's all different kinds of avenues that you can do. I know some real successful artists that aren't part of a label, because if they did, they lose money, because they did it all on their own. That
gets us to another subject that we've talked to other guests about. For a new band that is out there right now, some young kids that are, we've got the new thing, we've got the new sound. How do you get that out there? Because the days of the record labels are gone. So do you do that? I mean, you do the social media? Do you do
I think social media,
radio?
Listen, if it wasn't for internet and social media, man, I'd probably be sweeping an alley next to a bar near my house, looking for looking for cigar butts and empty, some liquor at the bottom of a bottle. I think, yes, social media, active on social media, play. You know how many CDs a good artist can sell at one of their shows? Word of mouth gets out there. You got not even iTunes and Apple Music. You got the streaming companies. Everybody says, I got to get heard on radio. But don't go crazy going on a radio tour to get played on an FM station 1 or 2 times. Go to the list curators, Amazon and Apple and all those playlist companies, Spotify. Man, that's what you're hammering. I'd rather see an artist get a good, a good company that can get to these curators of these lists. Because you get on one of those Spotify lists, man, that's better than getting played on FM a couple of times like most of them are trying to do. Right. But I think you can do it on your own. Here's what an artist wants to do. When I become an artist, they want to make so much noise on their own. The label comes to them. Forget them trying to contact these labels and management. Hell no. Make so much noise, they can't ignore you. They come to you. And it can be done with a lot of hard work and persistence and, doing your social media. And I don't stick to one social media because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. But, right. You got Reverb and you got Twitter and Instagram. It can be done because I see it being done.
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
I say it's interesting because we had a band from England on the show. One of the members, his name from a band called Inglorious, and that's how they got started. They sold out their first 5 shows, or 3 or 5 shows. I don't remember. It's been a little bit since we talked to them, but and it was all word of mouth. They hadn't sold one record. They'd done some shows, but there wasn't that big a deal. And their first big showcase, it was all via social media. Right. They sold this bar out in for 3 nights or whatever, and they've had a career and it's really kind of developed into them doing some really big shows and being on some decent bills in Europe with some festival stuff, and they're doing really pretty well. The records are great, the music's phenomenal, and it's different enough that it really gets people going. But they did it all through social media, and they'll tell you that if you ever talk to one of those guys, they'll tell you that that band was born out of social media.
It's global. It's global too, man. Because you got to realize that even like they say Hendrix had to come out of the United States to come back in. Well, in these days, you can be heard all over. You know how many syndicate people pick up my show overseas? So even for these artists, and I was just talking to a couple of guys out of Rhode Island that I've been fans of, Blindside Thunder forever, good friends of mine, and they're open to going to Europe and playing because there's an audience there. Out here, it's like so hard. Everybody's trying to get something done. You know what? Be creative. If you're on the internet, you've got a global audience. So, be open to heading to Europe to do some shows. And that's the thing that's big about the internet, because you can reach everybody anywhere.
See, one thing is with us, with the way we broadcast our show, we go on Spotify and YouTube and a bunch of other things. So we can't play music. We can't play physical music. We can't play a song, but we can promote the band. So we've had bands send us stuff, and there were some people from that Rockin' Pod, the Garden of Eden. I don't know if you've met that guy from down there. And these guys, we're getting some stuff from some people. It's like going, holy shit, why are you not famous? So we do what we can on our show, but we can't play their music, but we sure promote it. We'll put it out on our website, we'll put it on Facebook, we'll put it on, whatever we can. So, there's all kinds of different venues that you can do for these bands to get out there.
Right, because they're good. But see, this is a good segue too, man, because I announced that I have an all genre chart coming out. My country chart took off. My country chart for the new artist, now it's 80 songs like Billboard. It's the newsletter every week goes to about 10,000 people, and it's about 8 or 9 pages. People are advertising on it. So I'm like, wait a minute, I want to do an all genre chart, because when we listened to radio back in the day, top 40. You'd hear Marvin Gaye, and then after Marvin Gaye, you'd hear Nugent, and after Nugent, you'd hear Kiss, and then you'd hear that nun singing the Our Father. It's top 40. Everybody loved it. It was great music. You know what I mean? So I'm doing an all genre chart. So you know what? That helps open it up, because any guys that you hear, that you think are good, you send them over, because we're even going to be doing a radio show based on, the cross genre type of music. Like I said, that was the glory. Man, listen to radio in the 70s, though. Like I said, it was everything. It was a hodgepodge of everything. And that's where radio should be. Right now, you go to the top 40 on Billboard or whatever, and what you're seeing is mostly R&B and hip hop. And they're calling Coldplay rock. Wait, where's the days when you had the Stones and Zeppelin and Kiss and that was rock. There's still groups like that out there. They talk about Greta Van Fleet. There's still groups like they just got to be found, and maybe mainstream radio doesn't want to play them, but guess what? They can be forced to play them if they make enough noise. So that's what I'm hoping to do with this all genre chart.
Right. Yeah, they just don't have enough. There's just not enough of those to start making enough. Well, there's not enough outlet right now, I don't think, for them to start making enough noise. But you're right. I mean, there's bands out there. There's plenty of bands out there.
Right.
It's just, how do you get on the radio, and to your point, do you need to be on the radio? But
you don't need to be on the radio. That's the whole point. You got to.
Yeah.
Well, you think of it, man, because and you think about it, with Paradise by the Dashboard Light or Stairway to Heaven or even, Bohemian Rhapsody, what I want to give props to, Rami Malek in the movie for winning that award. Awesome. I knew it, baby. But they're not going to play, like they said, 3.5 minutes now is the threshold, 4 minutes tops. These record executives are what they're doing is they're modeling their sex lives with their wives and girlfriends. 4 minutes and that's it. That's what they must be doing, because come on, man, there's so many great songs out there. I mean, it doesn't have to be a 10-minute song, but the FM radio needs to grow up here, man. That's what they need to do. They need to get back to their roots.
Well, FM radio was in the 70s. FM radio was playing that shit, and they were playing all these prog rock and all these other rock people and different stuff, and now it's like it's just the same shit over and over.
But they're all owned by
one or two,
4 companies. I mean, there's Clear
Right.
Channel and whatever they own a shit ton of those. So it's
right, and they try to. Them and the labels are trying to control the whole industry. I mean, thinking when I used to hang up at JB 105 in Rhode Island, my top 40 station, I had a couple of mentors. When they used to play Freebird, the songs were on carts. They didn't play the albums; they played carts.
Right.
Freebird, they used to have it 2 carts because you had to hit it at the right time to get the second part of the song, because if not, you'd mess up. So they don't do that anymore, man. And it's sad, because you're right. There's 4 companies that control it. One of my countdown shows were on iHeartRadio, and then they started getting all like flip. I'm like, you know what? I don't need you guys. Forget it. I don't need to be on iHeartRadio. I'm not going to play by your rules. You want to cookie cut everything. If you don't like something being played, nah.
The days of when you're at your friend's house on a Friday night and you call up the radio station, I want to hear this song. Those days are fucking gone. Pull up on Spotify, man. And it's bullshit. And you could hear your name on the radio, and you could, that was special. I mean, that was magic, and now it's a joke. I don't.
Right, you'd hear your name on a radio, or they'd have these special segments. I remember they had the teacher reader. You used to be able to call up and tell the teacher that you didn't like the most in school, and they used to feed it to this like plant kind of thing. Man, that was fun. Or what's your name? Where you calling from? What do you want to hear?
Exactly.
Those are gone. I mean, that's what I try to bring with my show, because I know that, listen, I'm playing music that you can hear anywhere. Spotify, you can tell Alexa, play this song, and she's going to play it. So what I try to do is make it fun again, bring it back to the day where people want to hear what I say in between the songs just as much as they want to hear the songs.
Right.
And that's what radio needs now, because, listen, I don't have to turn on FM and listen to the same shit. I'll just go to Amazon Music or Spotify, and I'll listen to the music there. If people just want the music, they can do it. But there are people that still want entertainment, or talk to the DJ, or hear their voice on the radio. Whether it's the internet or wherever, there's still people that want that, and I think there's room for it. That's why I'm trying to just keep doing my thing.
Well, saying that, you have something coming up that you're wanting to promote, right?
Well, I got a couple of things, man. I got a 70s. It's called the 150 show, and I'm sitting there saying, I want to do a 70 and 80s show, just like back in the day, man. Have some fun, play some skits. You don't go like Howard Stern and make it real. Like, anybody can listen. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do a 70s and 80s show. And I'm like, well, I don't want to call it the Time Machine because that's lame and 900 other stations. So I said, let me call it the 150. So I told my Facebook, my social media people, I got a new show coming out. It's called the Iceman's 150 Show. Whoever can guess what it is, I'll send you a T-shirt. And people like, really digging deep. Oh, it's this and metal. And I announced it today. No, it's the 70s and 80s. When you take the 70s and you take the 80s, you got 150. There you go. Now those people that really, I got listeners that can't spell cat if you spotted them the C or the A. So I know what I mean. So those people that aren't that swift, I have to explain it to them, but they get it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, because they're listening to Taylor Swift. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, I'm excited about
Taylor's
that.
Taylor's got some nice legs, though. I'll tell you.
Yeah, whatever.
Just saying, she's a tall Amazon-y looking woman.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Pro Tools are her best friend.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about her
auto
voice.
tune.
Not talking about her voice. Don't care about her voice at all.
No, well, see, there you go. That's why she's going to sell. Listen, I know a top record executive in Nashville. He talks to a friend of artist of mine, and he goes, well, we just want you to appeal to the woman. Are you married? Or you got this? You're a good-looking kid. We want you. They just would do it, like you said. They do whatever they want to sell. Taylor's legs. I don't care what she's singing. If she's got a good album cover, I'm going to go out and buy it. That's it. Listen, I apologize if these snowflakes start sending you messages because they say the Iceman's being sexist. But
no,
it's
don't
just
worry.
me, man. Come on now.
Trust me.
You will not have a problem on this show.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. I've said some things on here that's gonna be.
It's pretty much a snowflake-free environment.
Yeah, that's good because I'm telling you, and not to get off subject, but I get the New York papers. I read a lot. This X thing under a male, female, or X, I can't deal with that. So we're not going to get into that because I don't see. And the thing I do, guys, on my show is I say if I could take a show for 2 or 3 hours and make you forget your problems in your life or there's school killings and just make you have fun. That's all I want to do. So even on my show, I don't talk politics. The only time I'm talking politics is when I'm making a joke about somebody. Right. And I'm trying to keep it real, not because I don't want to offend anybody, but I want, if they want to hear that bull, they can go anywhere and hear it. I want to have some fun and let people enjoy themselves.
So the 150, where's it going to be heard at? Is it going to be on the internet? I'm going to go at my website is theiceman.net.
I got affiliates now that are wanting it. People are starting to contact me saying, I want to play the show. A couple of FM stations, a lot of internet. So, okay. I know it's going to be syndicated out there, but like I tell everybody, just go to theiceman.net. I put my shows out there.
Okay.
We'll be putting the stations, picking it up. The first show will be done sometime. I think it's going to come out late next week. Me and my daughter are heading to Disney Wednesday. I have some fun. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'll walk around in shorts and scare some people, and we'll have some fun. So the show should be out a week from Friday, which I think is the 19th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Or the 18th,
that's correct.
or one of those dates. So I'm looking forwed to
18th.
it. Yes.
Yeah, we'll definitely put it on our website and promote it for you and everything.
Thank you.
So can I ask a question then?
Sure.
So if you're syndicated, then how do you get paid? Do you get paid from the syndication? Do you get paid? How do you earn money?
How do I get paid? Wait a minute. Hold on. How much do you want on the game tonight? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. No, wait a minute. I get paid by sponsors, which is really cool. Like a Stewart guitar is a travel guitar. The neck actually comes off with the strings, flips around, it fits in a backpack. It's a high-quality travel guitar. They're one of my sponsors. So I got advertisers, people that actually, because of my reach, they want to advertise because I built all my social media up myself. On the other end of that, I do some artist promotion to help new artists and consult with them. Has nothing to do with radio play. So I'm doing that a little too. But it's a lot of sponsors. I just fired my management company because they were worthless. They was useless as a bull with tits. So I just got rid of them. I think my lawyer will let me get away with that because I didn't say who it was because I'm not supposed to talk about them. So I just got rid of them, and I'm doing all my stuff on my own. And, the sponsors are good. We're doing so. That's kind of how I'm making my money. And, it's good that way, because I just keep doing my thing and I got a good reach. I mean, like you guys, I do a Facebook video. Iceman, what are you drinking? What cigar are you smoking? What are you wearing? And I think that's the best way. And then maybe someday I'll come up with a sex tape because everybody can use a sex tape to get their popularity out there.
Well, maybe we need to talk to you about how to make some money with our show because we don't make any money.
Yeah, no,
I thought he was going to ask you how to make a sex tape.
Same question.
No, I know how to make
I
a
was
sex
hanging
tape.
this phone up and going, I love you guys, thank you, but I'm not going to. No, exactly.
I was scared there for a minute.
Yeah,
First
so
thing,
was
first
I.
I thought it said sex tape, and I thought it said speed tape. I was like, oh, what? I got to.
No.
It's like it's done. It's done. It's done.
Yeah, no. So
did you guys get that?
Yeah.
It took a minute.
Yeah, most people are in years of being like a megabyte.
Yeah.
Kilobyte.
It's like
how long is a kilobyte?
We didn't catch that file. I'm sorry, it was too small. No.
Yeah, there you go. But no, we have to, because I always.
Yeah.
I saw it as a business. This is what I want. This is what I do for a living. And I just busted my ass building up social media the right way, not buying likes and Facebook and Twitter. I just did it the right way. And I just, people love when I go live, and I'm just me. And it seems like that the sponsors like that. And, that's how I'm doing it. I mean, you can't, for me, I couldn't charge, like a syndication is all sponsors. You can't charge a state like my management company, have them pay for the show. You can't tell an internet company, no matter how good a show is, they're going to pay for it because a lot of them don't make money. That wasn't a model. So it's all the sponsor model. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way to go, I found after 7 years.
Yeah, cool. Like I said, whenever I met you.
Go
ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to ask a personal question, but I was like, that's kind of interesting because I don't know how you it sounds like it's a big part of your day. I mean, that's your job. And I was curious how that whole thing worked out. So thanks, man.
Sponsors and just, yeah. Well, no, I don't take bets on the game. That was,
he is the Iceman. I mean,
you still have my card.
I sure
That's
do.
Cool, man, because a lot of people, I give it to them, and I figure because it's a little bit thick, they use it to get the steak out of their teeth when they eat.
I'll put that. But
no, that's not my number anymore. Go ahead.
Okay,
I had to change it, man. Listen, it's weird. It's this whole phenomenon, man. I get these listeners trying to Facebook video me at night and everything. You know what I mean? It's like pictures, and it's like I'm just a regular guy from the neighborhood doing what I love, man. That's all I am.
I'm one of those people. If you give me your card and we talk and stuff, Tom, I keep all that stuff, and I kind of keep it kind of half-ass organized somewhat. If you wouldn't think so, looking at my desk, but
I'm glad. Oh, you kept that. That's good. Because
like I said, whenever I talk to you down there in the Nashville Expo, which is a cool thing, and I hope it's gonna happen again this year. Like I said, it was interesting talking to you, and that's why I wanted to get you on here because of your, you had been in radio and through internet radio and satellite radio and all this stuff, and because of the change of how radio has been over the last, since we're all about the same age, and it's changed. I mean, the whole scope of everything has changed.
Right.
And that's why I was wanting to get you on here to give that new perspective of, we can sit around and bitch all day, but yet, you've been through it. So,
yeah, no, I try to make it like when you watch WKRP, man, it was all fun. And, that's what radio is to me. None of this corporate. And I always said it, when it starts being fun, and I'm going to walk away because to me that it's just about doing what I love.
Right.
And, so that's it.
I have a question for you. When are you doing the turkey drop?
I was watching that. Well, maybe we probably do it around Easter. That way we're not like everybody else. Yeah.
Do the rabbit drop.
Yeah, the rabbit drop. Right? We'll go to Nashville and do,
We're going to hop. We're going to hop these rabbits.
Yeah, there you go. But no,
it's funny.
You guys can relate to that. That's what radio was fun, and you have fun with it. And not like I know a guy that does mornings at a station here in Rhode Island. He's a friend of mine, and he's going to wear this thing on his waist. And then the corporate tells him, well, when you said this, X amount of listeners shut it off. It's like, pull back the reins, man. Let the radio guy be the radio guy.
Well, radio used to be. I mean, radio used to be. I mean, even AM radio. And I'm gonna give you a little fun thing. When I was a kid, they used to hide a miniature television. They had like a little plastic. I'm gonna use a printer cartridge for my thing, but I had like a little miniature TV. Okay, and they hid this somewhere in the county of my AM station. Okay. Could have been, it has to be on public property, but they hid this thing. And they would give clues every day of where this thing was hidden. And my family and I, we would listen to these clues. We would actually go out and look for this thing. I mean, it was the crazy. And actually, it was funny because my grandfather had a boat dealership, and they were like going, "Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we'll trade you a trolley motor for this TV if you can tell us where this is." But we used to actually, you listen for the clues. Okay, at 5 o'clock we're gonna have these clues. Everybody listen to the radio. That shit don't happen no more. That shit is gone.
Absolutely.
Gone.
That was the fun of it. Remember, as a kid, one of the AM stations. The 5 big people that come with the biggest signs saying WGNG loves Elton John, wins Elton John tickets. They're talking the 70s and the live I mean, it was great. It was our getaway. We were kids. We'd sit there with the tape recorder getting ready to tape our favorite song, saying that damn DJ just talked up, So
over the whole intro.
Yeah, I can't say that because that's one of the things I do because I take it back in the day. But it's just fun. Like, I'll be down in Disney this week, and I'm looking forward to getting together with my man John Regan, who was Frampton's bass player, 4x Fate. And
he's been one of our past guests. We love him.
And we're going to do a Facebook Live because he's going to be with Crazy Joe Randa, who was with Ace Frehley, was back in the day with the song Eugene. Which I absolutely love. So they're going to be down in Florida. I guess John's son's running the Disney. So we're going to do a Facebook Live. And I know those are the type of things you just have fun with.
Well, tell John hi. Like I said, we've had him on our show and loved that guy. John's a really, really nice guy.
Yeah, no, he is. But those are the things you do to have fun. And like you guys are saying, it's I wish radio would get back to that. And they're not. But the way to capture those listeners, give that old timer, because anybody can listen to just the music. So that's why a lot of these FMs get tuned out. They don't want to listen to the guy in between the music because he's just boring, and he sucks, and regardless of corporate America. I mean, listen, Bobby Bones won Dancing with the Stars because somebody from they want to make him the next big thing. So he's the corporate in back of him. Because Bobby Bones never did anything good for the new artist, and that's why he blocked me on Twitter because I told him that. But they're putting him out there. I mean, people winning awards. Listen, I pull no punches. Buzz Brainerd puts me to sleep at Sirius. I'm sorry. When Sirius says, hey, we find the new artist first, I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, I've been playing that artist for 2 years. Where have you been? So that's corporate radio, man. And I'm doing things, and I'm not just saying me, but I want people to get away from that, man. I want them to listen to the personality because it's fun, so.
Well, we want to promote all your stuff. So I'll tell you what, let's wrap this up. And why don't you tell us where we can find you, find your new show, find everything about the Iceman.
Find me on a milk carton. No, you can find me. Just go to the Iceman.net. Everything's there. And you guys, listen, man, I appreciate this, but any artist that you interview, and like you say, you can't play the music, you got an open door to get in touch with me, because even with this all genre, I mean, if it's good music, I want to help them out. So, let's do that. And like I said, your listeners, anybody want to go check out what I'm doing, go to the Iceman.net. And, I want to put a link for you guys on my website too, man, because it's all about people working together to kick the shit out of the people that are trying to ruin the business.
Exactly.
Yep.
We appreciate it, man.
Definitely.
We appreciate it.
So wait a minute now. The Kiss in the background, right? See the Kiss logo in the background. Did you buy the Kiss Army package for their farewell tour?
No.
$6,500.
But he did buy what? He's got 4 tickets.
No, I have that.
No. I have 3 sets of tickets.
You got 3 tickets.
That's a good thing, though, man. So I love those guys. I can't. I mean, it's worth it. Those are the type of guys, and the Stones going back out. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about.
Are you going to be at the Nashville show?
When is it?
April the 9th.
I'm gonna try to get there, but since I'm up north now, since I got out of Nashville, because they know there's too many people. If I see in the street, I'm gonna wind up, my old style northeastern personality is gonna come out. But no, April 9th, I'm gonna try because I know I might be in the studio down there with the producer, so I'm gonna keep that date in mind. And if I am, we'll go have some fun and just make sure we have bail money.
Well,
also too, if
these
they have
other
the,
two yahoos.
expo, show up at the expo also this year, and we'll hang out. We'll hang out and go have a beer or something.
Yeah, no, we'll have some fun, man. We'll see if Tom's down there with the, getting Bill Alcoin into the Hall of Fame, which he belongs in.
That's what.
Hall of Fame better get off their asses too, man. So, yeah, but no, I appreciate
it. That's a whole nother show.
Yeah, I know it is, man. Listen, I appreciate it, man, because I tell you what, I put you off on this interview more times than the prom queen put me off on going out on a date, and that never happened 35 years ago. But I appreciate it because I know we had to keep postponing and all that other stuff.
No, we had that. I know you had personal issues, and this last week actually,
I have a lot of damn personal issues.
And
I talk about them.
And I have postponed this last show I didn't do because my mom was in the hospital, and it's just life happens.
Yeah, it
does. So hang around for a second.
Now hold on a second. I'm not done because you interrupted me, Dennis.
Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say these two yahoos will not be at the Nashville show, but I will be there.
Oh, yeah.
And I will be celebrating a birthday. Oh. So if you're in Nashville, let's definitely hook up.
You're finally drinking age. Congratulations.
As you can see, I finally started growing some hair,
Yeah, exactly.
Man, yeah, that's exactly right.
That's funny. All right, well, is that it, Bill? Dennis?
Yep.
All right, well, thanks
man.
Thanks for coming on the show. Hang out for a second. I'm going to outro us out of here. I promise I know what I'm doing. All right, folks. Check us out on 80sofrock.com. You can catch all of our social media there. Catch us on Stitcher Radio. Catch us on 109.5 Catch us on the 195theglobe.com at 3 p.m. Eastern every Monday to catch the replay of last week's show. Till next time, peace out, folks. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.